YouTube fam, what is happening? The other day on Instagram, some of you saw I posted a story of my receipt of my most recent grocery haul. A couple of you guys hit me back, asked what exactly was on it, what I'm doing with prep now 4 weeks out from the Natural Olympia. So I figured, hey, why not show you guys every single thing that I bought, every single thing that's in my kitchen, in my fridge, in my pantry, whatever. I'm gonna show you all the food and what I'm doing with it. So let's get to it. Alright, you weirdos, who's ready to check out my groceries? Because I got them all right here for you. So let me see if you guys can see that. Oh, you can. Not bad. Laid them all out for you. Part of me was like, should I, move them around? Should I have them sorted by food type? And I was like, nah, that's corny, dude. Don't do that. So I did it. But it's out here. I'm going to try to take you guys through. Make sure you guys can see all right. But we'll just get right into it. Get started. First and foremost, of course, right? I wouldn't be bodybuilding if I didn't have 2 trays of chicken. No, but I get 2 trays in all seriousness. I don't know if you guys have like a Sam's Club or a Costco membership, but I got 2 trays because both of those total added up to about 20 bucks. And if I go to like the Safeway down the street or any of the little markets, it's like 20 bucks for 1 tray. So I loaded up on chicken as that's my go-to a lot of times. I find it's a little more filling than some of the other protein, like egg whites or even like a whey isolate and stuff like that. So definitely one of my go-tos, and it's a staple in everybody's diet. Got the chicken. Next up, speaking of those memberships, if you have a Sam's Club membership, need to make me look good. Just kidding. If you have a Sam's Club membership, they got these things here. Now, a lot of you know, so I'm really low fat right now, about 20 grams of carbs, 20 grams of fat a day. As you can tell, my brain's not even working. But just as we get down to the nitty gritty, it's really hard to implement any type of red meat. But what I found was these sliced beef sirloins, and it's at Sam's Club. It's the Members Mark. But you'll see here, I'll show you guys kind of the nutrient facts. It'll focus. 2 grams of fat per 3 ounces. So if I kind of have a lower fat day, I can kind of enjoy some of this. It's not bad. 5 grams of carbs for 18 grams of protein per 3 ounces. So I'll have about 6 ounces of that, and it's just a really nice switch up, nice mix up to have that with some like sweet potatoes and a veggie. Makes me feel like I'm eating a meal out. But pretty good macros I found compared to a lot of red meats. So definitely something I've started going to, and I am glad I found. Right here, we got some Black Forest ham for you. This is just kind of an additional, it's not my main protein source a lot. What I'll do is when I make, and you'll see later, with the egg whites and the egg beaters and stuff, I'll make breakfast sandwiches or breakfast in general, and I like to throw a couple slices of ham on there just to enhance the protein. Let's see, speaking of that, we'll just get right into that. 2 things of cage-free egg whites. It's super easy to go to, very lean, obviously pure protein source. So you don't have to worry about, for somebody who's me, somebody who's on a similar diet to me, where you're low fat, low carb, stuff like that, it's being pure just protein. It's always nice to have items like that. As well as sometimes too, if I'm feeling lazy or busy day and I haven't been able to get all my protein in, I'll open one of these babies up, come in little cartons like this, and this right here, this full thing is 50 grams of protein, so I'll just throw it back. It's nasty, and I won't tell you what I think it feels like, but you gotta do what you gotta do, After that, I love these 000 yogurts. The vanilla is the best in my opinion, but they do have fruit flavored. But as you can see here, 100 calories, 0 fat, 10 grams of carbs, 15 grams of protein. It's also just a nice little addition, a little treat. Sometimes too, yogurt can be a natural probiotic for digestion and stuff like that. And when I'm on a diet that I am, or even on something that's opposite, like a bulk that's out of my norm, it's good to have those kind of in there to help with the digestional process and that bacteria in there. Help it out a little bit. Next up, obviously, this is another Sam's Club find, but they sell the isolate there for super cheap. It just happens to be Dimetized, no ad or you know, discount code there. Just a good find. It's a good, you know, price per pound. I don't know exactly what the price was, to be honest, though. But I just remember looking at it and being like, that's a good price. But you'll see, super lean. Because the last thing I want to do, let me see if I can get it to focus on the protein and not me for a second. 0.5, 2 grams of carbs, 25 grams of protein. Because the last thing you want to do is have your fat or carbs coming from your protein source when it's something like that. Next up, oh, you know what? I actually forgot a protein item. Let me grab it for you. Because it goes with the egg whites, but it's called egg beaters. They have a bunch of similar things like that, but it's all the same macros as egg whites. But what's nice is it's made from like real eggs, supposedly. Tastes a little more like real eggs. So what I'll do is majority of my, since I have more egg whites, I'll throw in majority egg whites, but I'll add in like a quarter of my serving will be these here, the egg beaters. And what that does is at least gives me, even though it's mostly egg whites, it'll give me that egg feel and like taste. So it just kind of helps. Over a certain period of time, this is the longest I've ever prepped, you know, with it being COVID year. It's now like mid-October and I've been prepping since the beginning of the year basically, because my original show was in April. So yeah, so you find ways to make it fun, be creative with clean and low calorie foods and stuff like that. So that's one of the ways I do it. Next up, I guess I'm gonna transition into the greens actually to get them out of the way, because who cares about the vegetables? But we gotta do it, right? So first and foremost, heads of lettuce. Love my heads of lettuce just because I can use it for salads. I can use it for a topping and a filler. And that's what a lot of the veggies I eat during prep are really just fillers and trying to make sure I'm getting my micronutrients, but also, you know, take up space in my stomach and make me feel more full than I usually am. So yeah, topping, you know, whether it's homemade burrito bowls I'm making, whether it's, like I said, salads, whether it's turkey burgers. You know, sometimes I'll mess around on a high day and make some homemade turkey burgers. Topping for that, just kind of like an easy staple to have. So yeah, that's lettuce for you. Speaking of that, the celery, I like to chop it up. I will have the sticks, but sometimes I like to just cut it up and throw it in my salads. That's why I don't have cucumber today, but sometimes I'll have some cucumber and throw it in there as well. Again, another good filler. Celery is one of those things you eat and it's very dense in the stomach, I feel like. This one's not on those same lines, but just a really good veggie I think to have. They say it's a natural diuretic, that's not why I use it or anything. But you got some asparagus, always kind of a staple in a prep diet, I feel like. I won't bore you with my definition of asparagus. These are cool, little Sam's Club find I feel like as well. Members mark, but I'm sure, I mean, I know they have them at plenty of other stores, but they're just the quick steam-in bags of broccoli. Makes it really easy when I'm prepping, you know, my potatoes or my rice or my meats and stuff like that, and I don't have to worry so much about prepping the veggies. I could just throw that thing in the microwave and hit it on and let it kind of steam itself for like 8 minutes while I'm getting the other stuff prepared. So just a really easy way. Like I said, I'm just trying to make everything as easy and exciting as possible, because it makes the diet more, not adaptable, it's not, you're able to adhere to the diet, I feel like, a lot easier the simpler it is and the easier you make it on yourself. That's why a lot of people do like the meal prep companies and stuff like that, is because, you know, the easier it is to just have the food right there in front of you, the more you're going to want to do it. So no excuses. Lastly, I think, yeah, for the veggies, spinach, of course, another staple, another filler. Love to mix it in with my eggs or throw it on top of my breakfast sandwiches. I'll even mix it in with like some sweet potatoes. I'll air fry up the sweet potatoes, throw some garlic salt on there with these, and it blends right in. Just a nice green to have. Make sure we're moving properly, if you know what I'm saying. All right, fun part, carbs. Oh, not quite. This is kind of a random, but I buy this a lot. Walden Farms pancake syrup, because when I get to the carbs you'll see why, but I have it so much. 0 calorie, no calories here. Also too, I might as well show you at the same time. This is the butter spray I use for those pancakes. And you know, it's good with like the like what you'll see with my toast and stuff like that. Really good, 0 calorie, tastes just like butter. Not as thick and dense, but dude, at some point on prep, you're gonna have to make some compromises. It's not gonna all be exactly what you want to eat. So for the time being and for being on prep, it works really well. All right, carb sources. Another big buy, minute rice, can't have enough of it. I do the minute. I know some people like to do different styles or worry about it. I get my macros from, you know, my multivitamin, my greens, stuff like that. So I'm not worried about my rice necessarily having all that. But just a really easy make. And like I said, another way to make a meal as easy as possible. It's super easy to prep. I don't even need to use my rice cooker really. Speaking of that, with being low fat, the rice is good for that, but also too, sourdough bread. I love this just because each slice is only 13 grams. I don't know if you can see that, 13 grams of carbs, but you'll see 0 fat, which is just huge for me where I'm at. It's just another carb source. You'd be surprised how many carb sources also have fat, or same thing with protein. So when you only have 20 grams a day, for reference, if I were to have some almond butter, just real quick side note, 2 tablespoons, 1 serving of this almond butter, which I love, 17 grams. So I'd have 3, I literally wouldn't be able to eat anything other than like egg whites for the rest of the day and stuff in terms of fat. So just another great, sourdough is another great carb source that's low in fat. Pretty big staple, sweet potatoes. I think per measurement, per serving, I just poked myself in the eye, so that was fantastic. Per serving though, very filling, you know, a little more fibrous than like the rice and stuff. And just takes a little bit, you know, it sits a little bit heavier. So I always love these for like my post workout meal, or maybe like an earlier on in the day meal when I'm not about to go train. Like them just because I feel fuller for longer, a little more satiating. I think I said that right. Oats, can never go wrong without oats. I'm not eating a ton right now, so they're not huge in my diet right now, but I love my oats. I always have them on hand. And speaking of like Sam's Club, I'm sure Costco's the same. I get 2 of these big bags next to each other in a big box for super cheap. Really, really cheap for somebody who's trying to ball on a budget or even gain size and gain weight. It's a really easy carb to have. And dude, if you want, what I'll do sometimes is I'll take that, make it, throw, there's a video actually down below on some protein oats. It's exactly what I do. Throw some, you know, chocolate protein in there and mix it all up with some cinnamon and some almond butter. It's fantastic, tastes like a dessert. But just an easy staple, easily digestible, all that type of stuff. And I'm delaying because I'm getting to the big boy. This, my friends, has been a staple, not in previous preps, but this prep alone. Kodiak cakes. Now this is something I do. I usually do about a cup. A serving's half a cup, but I do about a cup of this with some whey isolate, and it just adds a little more protein to it. But it's a full meal basically. I can get about a good stack of 3 pancakes out of it. It's a good breakfast, post-workout kind of treat, or like almost like a dessert you would have after your dinner. But like I said, it's a way to make something exciting, way to make your macros fit while also feeling like you're getting to eat normal foods. It's just something I rock with. Speaking of that, it's stuff like the big thing of, you know, Coke Zeros and Diet Cokes. And I know you guys are all probably wondering, but I'm not sponsored by Coke, so I know it's a possibility, but not something I do. But anyway, yeah, Coke, Zero, Diet Cokes, you know, Pepsi, Max, whatever you're into. Find what makes it easy for you. Find what makes it feel like you still can live life a little bit and have some treats. And that's kind of like what the pancakes are for me. I'm a big breakfast food guy, so it kind of helps that out. Now, finishing up on that is my grocery haul. That is basically all that's in my kitchen. That is mine, I should say. There's nothing I can really think of other than sauces and some seasonings and some black coffee. But that is basically mine. My groceries, especially here going out with it just being 4 weeks. I do have some exciting news. I think I have a private gym for you. That training, it's gonna be back in Biceps today. That training's coming up next. I'm so happy I could get it. With COVID and stuff like that, all the gyms, you know, I'm at some new gyms and I'm also at gyms that are still kind of weird with some of their rules and whatnot. So I just don't feel super comfortable yet getting the camera in there. But got a private gym, I think. I don't want to jinx it, so fingers crossed. But I hopefully have that coming up for you next. Thanks for checking out the grocery haul. If you have any questions about your own groceries, feel free, you know, shoot a comment down below, shoot me a DM, whatever it is. You know, I'm open to help however I can. So
we interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
No, seriously, go subscribe, bro. I appreciate you guys checking it out. I have some exciting news. I think I have some training for you next. So enjoy the training. I'll talk to you guys next time. All right, I told you guys I wanted to get you guys some current training, but it's been really hard with all the gyms being different and whatnot. So luckily my buddy Caden said he's got a sick apartment gym set up. We were luckily able to come and there's nobody here right now. So I'll be able to set up for you guys sick back and bicep day. It'll be a little modified from what I normally do, but all the same movements just because it isn't the same gym, same equipment, stuff like that. But really excited that we're in here to get in the gym and get a pump that we can record and get for you guys of current prep training, just what I'm actually doing right now. So let's get to it.
In the darkest night, I saw your eyes, a sense of threat that I can't forget. I wanna know who you are. This is what I need to know. So take my hand and let our fears go. Take me to your jungle where the rain is warm and the birds fly. Take me to your kingdom. Yeah, take me to the. Take me to the. Take me to your jungle where the rain is warm and the birds fly. Take me to your kingdom. Yeah, take me to the jungle. No words describe your savage life. Ooh, let's give it a go like our purpose shows. I wanna know who you are. This is what I need to know. So take my hand and let our fears go. Take me to your jungle where the rain is warm and the birds fly. Take me to your kingdom. Yeah, take me to the.